Retro Effect.
Welcome, fellow retro enthusiasts and Evercadians. This is the Retro Effect, and I am Retro Cudish. And you'll notice, what? I said the Retro Effect. Yes. So every now and then, there's going to be a retro thing topic that's important to me that I want to talk about this channel. Don't worry, I'm still going to be dedicated to Evercade. There's just some things from time to time that I need to talk about. Comment in the section below if you like it. And if you've discovered this on the YouTubes or interwebs, if you could go ahead, like and subscribe, it really helps me out. Just have to give a quick shout out to the community. Saturday, April 16th was my first YouTube year anniversary.
And the crowd goes wild.
Yay! Yeah! So just want to thank you so much, everyone. At the time of recording this video, we're 320 plus subs going strong. Next time this year, let's get to 1,000. Alright, so if you couldn't tell by my shirt here, I love Tetris.
Wow, I never would have guessed.
All forms, every version of it, and particularly for the Game Boy, it's my favorite game. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about why I'm obsessed with Tetris, my quest, etc., and what led me down this journey, and was I able to get the ultimate Tetris cartridge? You know, how did it work out? Was it what I expected? Maybe it was better or worse? I don't know. Stay tuned. I hope you take this journey with me. But first, let's go ahead and let's get the nostalgia pumping through our veins. And let's go ahead and take a look down memory lane.
They said it wasn't humanly possible, but now you can have all the power and excitement of Nintendo right in the palm of your hand. Introducing Game Boy. It's portable, it's in stereo, and its games are interchangeable. Plus, Game Boy comes with the outrageous new game, Tetris. And for head-to-head competition, use the revolutionary video link and blow your opponent away. Game Boy, only from Nintendo. Now you're playing with power, portable power.
Alright, so now that we have our veins filled with nostalgia, let's go ahead and talk about this. So for me personally, Tetris is just one of those games that I can always play. Doesn't matter what platform or what it's on, I can always play it, even if it's just a quick 10-minute game. And there's just something really relaxing and satisfying about the shapes falling down and being able to knock out those lines. It's just, it's fantastic. And most of the time when I play the game, usually I get to at least to level 9. By no means am I a super Tetris master, but I'd like to think that I'm fairly good at it. It's also a great game if you just want to kind of deal with anxiety and just kind of chill, because as it gets towards the top, you know, the music and everything starts pumping. But if you can keep a level head and build everything, you know, and get it to go back down and start to get all those lines, there's just something so satisfying. So yeah, for me, it's just it's very relaxing. It's very satisfying. However, if you try to search like on your mobile phone to find a version of Tetris, the original EA one, which is somewhat decent, that's gone. And there really isn't a good portable version of Tetris out there.
Yeah, I know.
And there may be one, you know, on the PS4 or their consoles, but playing on your phone, it's not the same thing as using a D-pad. It makes me feel like a D-pad playing it. So yeah, I just wanted a decent version of Tetris. Now, you may remember a few videos back when I got like that multi-cart that ended up being a piece of junk. Yeah, you remember that. Yeah, well, the brief time that it did work, I was able to try Tetris, and it was the Nintendo version, and it was just like all smushed. Of course, it's not designed to be played on the Game Boy Advance, and the sound and everything, it wasn't quite right. So, you may remember that, you know, when I went to Game Over Games, again, flashback. Remember that? I saw the GBA, and this form factor here is very portable. Ta-ta-da! The mine's very scruffy, but you know what? I can keep it in my pocket. And then they had this. Boom! So I was sold. Because I remember back in the day, me and my friends were like, you know what? We just need Tetris. And there were a lot of people that had a Game Boy and no other game, if you can believe that. Because it's so fantastic. So why did I go down this route? Yes, there's other devices like the Pow Kitty.
Get it right or pay the price.
Oh, I'll put it up here on the screen. It looks a lot like the SP model here, and you can fold it and put it up in your pocket. But to be honest, I didn't want to have to mess around with something. I want something that's plug and play. This here, it's not indestructible, but it's solid. The original GBA, it's solid. You can see it's scruffy, but it still works good. So I wanted something solid. I could just put in a cart. I could just play it and not have to mess with all the other nonsense and customizing the OS and blah, 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 blah. So that was the first step. So let me just point something out here. Let me pop this cart out if I can get it out of its case. All right. So here is a little bit of an issue with an SP, and I didn't think this was going to bother me as much. So see how this sticks out quite a bit? Now, you might think that's not too big of a deal, but you have limited space on your desk or putting it in your pocket. Yeah, it works, right? It definitely works, but it's annoying. And there's no way I'm going to take an original GBA cartridge and just go zip and just cut it off. I wouldn't even buy an extra one and do that. No, that's crimes against retro. There's no way I'm going to do that. So for a while I wasn't sure, what do I want? Yes, there's flash carts out there. So you may ask yourself, well, why not just get a flash cart? Well, again, I could do that. Not only are they a little bit more expensive, $80 or so, but then you have to find all the ROMs, load the ROMs. I don't think I could just load up one Tetris ROM. So that's kind of weird, right? So yeah, I wanted it to be focused, just like how the Evercade collection carts are focused. And then there's another issue. So the original game, you can't friggin' save your high scores when you power it off. What? So let me go ahead and put it up on the screen here. I've had this bookmarked for such a long time. There's a patch, yes, where you can patch the original game and it'll save your high scores, which I think is awesome. That was something that was totally missed from Tetris, but then again, they didn't start their battery save backup games until later on. So that was pretty neat. And then I was thinking, what if I could take that and I could put that into a GBA cart? Would it look something like this? Maybe. And we'll get to that here in a second. Spoiler! So I went ahead and I downloaded the patch and I tested it out. And, on my phone and all that, just to make sure it would save the high scores. And it wasn't working. But long story short, you have to have the same name as the same name for the save file. God, I can't even talk today.
Wake up and smell the coffee.
Then it'll work. So the save has to be named the same as the actual ROM, and they give you that with the patch. I'm like, all right. I'm like, how am I going to do this? So Etsy is a great website, and I was perusing around, and I found this online store called Jairo's Mod Shop. We will flash your homebrew games. And just to mention, this video isn't sponsored. I wasn't sent anything for free. I did actually pay for Jairo's services, and I'll get that here, and I'll get to that here in a moment. So I went ahead and I just messaged Jairo's and I told him, hey, could you? No, I think I said this exactly. Could you go ahead and take this specific ROM here of Tetris that's patched and put it in a GBA style cart? What? And, would it be able to save? And then they were like, yeah, I think I can go ahead and do that. Let me get back to you. Right now I'm at work. So I'm like, perfect, great customer service. A few hours went by. And then they went ahead and started sending me some screenshots and showing me some things. And I had a bazillion questions like, hey, can you save your game? Can you do this? Can you do that? And they were so patient. So yeah, I just want to give a huge shout out to Jairo's for making this happen. I did get their permission to go ahead and mention in this video. So yeah, I'm gonna put a link in the description below. And before I get too much into it, let's see how it turned out. Were they able to do what I expected, or I don't know? Was it something Was it something less? So let me go ahead and flash this up on the screen, and let's take a look. And when we do that, just please note I don't have any type of like HDMI or AV output or anything else. And yeah, I could have loaded up an emulator, but you wouldn't really get to see the essence. So I tried to make the camera not as shaky as possible. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look and see how it turned out. Or did it? All right, and we're booting up the Game Boy here. And check this Ultimate Tetris collection. I love this splash screen. And look at all these Tetris games. See, I didn't even ask for this. And this was a huge surprise. I mean, yeah, Jaros told me before sending it to me. We've got our classic Tetris. And you can see that it's in color. And we have our Tetris 2, which I never even played Tetris 2. It's really, really, really different here. And then now we can go to Tetris Attack! Again, another Tetris game I never played. Tetris Blast. This is a pretty cool one. Again, another one I hadn't played. Tetris Plus is the next game, and I just wanted to say with Plus here, I hadn't played this one either, but the music is different, the color is different, and these are all GBA games colorized. One of them is a legit Game Boy Color game. I believe it's the Tetris DX that we're going to see here in a second. This one I have played on an emulator, and it is pretty cool because they all just play a little bit different degrees of difficulty. With Tetris Plus, you can see an extra piece. And I like how, so most of them they fill out and they stretch the whole screen. The only downside is that you cannot, since it is using an emulator, you cannot stretch it out. But I tell you, the sounds and the emulation and everything is spot on, especially with Tetris here. Alright, so it plays all the games just fine. They're sounding looking good. But the other question is, does the original OG Tetris, with the modified IPS patch, does that save? So yeah, we need to go ahead and we need to go ahead and test it. Before we do, one other thing I forgot to mention is that when I bought the cart, I just paid for the flashing services and paid for the official cart. None of the ROMs or anything like that, were sold to me. They just happened to be just added on there as part of the flashing service because it was something that I couldn't do myself. So I just want to make it clear that everything was legit here. All right, so let me go ahead. We're gonna flip back. Let's pop in the cart and let's see if it works or if it just plays normally. Let's find out. So I'm just speeding this up here just so we can quickly blow through a game, get the low score, put in my name, and save it here. All right. So now let's go ahead. Yeah, sure. Put in my name. We'll go ahead and do that. Blah, blah, blah. Yes. All right. So now you press L and R at the same time. It asks if you want to save it. And so you just wait here. It's going to save it. All right. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to pop the card out. Whoop, there it is. All right. Shove it back in there. And go ahead and power it back on. The lovely Game Boy screen. We're going to get through this. Ultimate Tetris! Man, I love that logo. That turned out so well. Okay, let's go back into Tetris. Alright. Come on. And then we'll go in and start a new game. There it is, right there on the bottom. 125 Ed, that's me. It worked! So, of course it turned out awesome. I genuinely make videos on things and stuff that I really enjoy. It makes me happy. So that was a total surprise. I was not expecting there to be all the Tetrises on it. So the only one bad thing is maybe isn't too much of a downside, and I knew this going in, and I saw the screenshots and the fact that it was emulated, but you can't stretch it full screen. Which yes, I did that with the original Tetris, but you know what? It looks better leaving it the original aspect ratio, even though maybe I can see it a little bit better. But that's really not too much of a downside, because I guess it's the way you should be playing it. Anyways, but yeah, I was very impressed. I was hoping that a GBA SP would be able to emulate a Game Boy and Game Boy Color, and it does. It emulates it so well. So the other thing I want to mention, which is really nice, so it came in a nice bubble wrap. It came in this like static-proof bag. So I mean the quality is definitely there, and I got this little case, and I even got some extra labels inside. It's the first one I just kind of slapped on here. I don't know if you can see it too well, but it's you know, I slapped this on myself. It's not it's not the best quality, so don't blame Jaros for that. But I put it on myself. But hey, they were honest. They're like, hey, I don't have steady hands. You know, I'll let you put that on. I was like, cool, I'm fine with that. So yeah, and so what just blew me away. Let me go ahead and put this on the screen because I told them I was so happy. And I'm going to put the links in the description below. But yeah, let me put this on the screen here. So this is just a quote from the Etsy app. You know, after I went ahead and I had told them how much that I really enjoyed and I love this, they said, thank you, much appreciated. After all, I had to give the ultimate Tetris fan the ultimate Tetris collection. Yeah, and so I didn't even ask for this. That's what I love. They went above and beyond. I thought I was just gonna get that one game, but truthfully, I love this. I love that there's different variations. I don't feel like I'm overwhelmed going through all the collection of you know, like a bazillion carts, and it's spot on. It's, you know, I know the Evercade will never get this, so it really is just a customized collection for me. And yeah, the customer service is excellent. Again, I'll have a link in the description below in case you have a special cart that you'd like to get flashed. Jaros comes highly recommended. And again, this is coming from me, not sponsored. My own thoughts and opinions. You know, just me. I got a great experience, and I wanted to share it. And I thought this was worthy of a video because I love Tetris. So what I want to know in the description below, what are y'all's thoughts on this? Have you all thought about having that like extra special cart with certain versions of games and certain specifications? Would you get a Tetris cart like this? Should have I had gotten a flash cart and not messed around? You know, go ahead and let me know. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you some footage just of all the games. If you're curious to see how they look and sound. Again, I tried to keep the camera as steady as I could, but I thought it was important to give that feel than to show it on an emulator because it doesn't really show you how it is. So, on that note, I'm going to go ahead and flip over and show some footage. Well, I created content. Bye-bye!